I put on my best onesie to give you a post-tumor update a little more than 2 years later. You're welcome. Now, I didn't expect 2 years later that I would still be dealing with the issues that I am now dealing with. So, it's a big hope of mine, if there's anybody out there facing an acoustic neuroma or a vestibular schwannoma, maybe you're about to get operated on, or maybe it's after you get operated on. The thing is, this rare and stupid tumor hits everybody differently and affects them all differently. So, 2 years later, and here's what I'm still dealing with, and what I'm doing about it. We can start with the first and most obvious thing, which is facial paralysis on half of my face. It has been labeled facial paralysis grade 3. There's various videos on YouTube that can explain to you the various grades of facial paralysis and how they decide at which level your particular facial paralysis is. But me, this was caused because my tumor had built itself around all of the nerves leading to this side of my face. And yeah, so they had to be damaged to get that tumor out of there. Positive is there has been some improvement since my operation. Directly after the operation, this face was hanging, this side of the face was hanging, could not close this eye, and I had no control over anything here. It was pretty much just drooping. So there has been some lift. I can now close the eye. They're still not closing together, but I feel like I am gaining little by little a lot of movement back here. Most recently, more than 2 years later, I see some change here on this side of my forehead. So this seems to be taking the longest. It feels like there's a strip through here that's still trying to get its act together. A not so obvious shitty side effect that I have from this tumor and or its removal is, while I am deaf in this ear, I also have a loud ringing or buzzing or kind of indescribable noise, but it's annoying. So, while I have hearing aids now that are essentially a microphone here that transfers the data to here, which is helpful, for example, out in social situations and feeling safe, like when crossing the street, it's not a complete fix-all because all the noise is still going in one ear, it all blends together, and it can be very overwhelming if I'm in a situation with a lot of different noises going on. Third major issue I'm dealing with since I had this stupid tumor in my head is vertigo. Now, my vertigo is pretty much all the time, and it feels like, now vertigo just means like you're dizzy, and in the beginning, to me, that felt to me like that should be like a spinning, but I feel more kind of like the world is going kind of like I'm on a boat. It's subtle, but it's annoying, and it can result in nausea feeling, kind of like a headache feeling behind the eyes, just generally feeling uncomfortable. Noticed recently too that because of this vertigo, I seem to have a heightened fear of heights. Like the first time I tried to do this creepy escalator at a mall near my place, I had a full-on anxiety attack and felt like I was gonna fall back like this, like had a feeling I was gonna, whoa, fall back. An escalator I had done, before in the times that I've lived here, but after the operation, my dizziness was worse, and that surprised the hell out of me to go up this escalator, and as I was a few feet from the top, I had a grip for my dear life because I had this sensation that for some reason I was going to spontaneously fall. And so, like, all of this leads to something I hate to admit, constant exhaustion. Like, I went from being somebody incredibly high energy to being someone that needs a break about every 10 to 15 minutes if not to just try to feel like my boat is spinning less, but also just to deal with the nausea feeling that comes on. I don't vomit. I just have the luck of that constant feeling often. So, what am I doing about it? Well, number one is staying active. I make sure at least once a day I leave this house and I do a lap around my neighborhood. Sometimes I take you with me and make a video. I force myself into uncomfortable situations like doing hills, practicing the escalator in the mall that gives me the fears, steps, and also doing just basic balance exercises, just practicing various movements, feeling how my body reacts, laughing because when I try to do them and I close my eyes, this happens. Yeah, so constantly like kind of catching myself, falling a little bit, feeling uneasy. This makes you exhausted. But I think staying active, trying to do balance exercises, if it's not helping me improve my balance, at the very least, it's keeping me strong so I can handle these physically unstable situations that I encounter. Another way I've handled this is being very persistent and not tolerating doctors who had no interest or time to help me get better. I had to go through 2 or 3 ear, nose, and throat doctors before I found one that even decided to try some dizziness medication on me and offer me the hearing aid solution. So again, if you're somebody facing issues with this type of tumor, you're going to have a bit of a battle with doctors because not a lot of them are well versed and trained in this tumor. Work hard to find someone who is and have zero tolerance for those that just don't even show interest, because they're out there. I was a little surprised at what I encountered, but luckily now I think I have a good team, but because they're so good, I have to wait sometimes. At the moment, for example, I am waiting for a callback as I am on a waiting list at a university clinic where they have a professor doctor who specializes in this exact tumor and the things that come with it. My last visit with him, he showed a great interest in looking into it if he could fix my hearing, which blew my mind. He wanted to talk about rehabilitation and getting to the root of why I still have dizzy problems. But we still need to do tests, and one of the machines they needed to do a test on me on was broken. Now it's fixed, so I'm on a waiting list, and I have to wait until it's my turn to go down and talk to this professor doctor about hopefully fixing some of my issues. At the same time, my health insurance has sent me a little busy work to do in the form of many forms here to fill out, because they would like to send me somewhere to see if they can rehabilitate me in some of my issues. From what I understood is when I have all of these forms completed, I am to send them in. It has to be done within the next 10 weeks. And they claim that they will try to find a place where they can provide me with therapy in regards to my problems. God, this made me really, really, really hopeful. But again, I'm waiting. Don't get me wrong, I'm fine with waiting. I understand. I live now in a system where everybody can go to a doctor when they need help. And they do, as they should. Whereas I come originally from a system, spent the first 30 years of my life in a system where you go to a doctor if you have money. So I understand that I have to sometimes wait for appointments or treatment. There's people that are worse off than me, and they should rightfully come first. And I'm really happy to be a part of a system that takes care of its people. So I wait, but of course it's frustrating. Um, it's it's frustrating, but I understand it, and I try to deal with it. If anything, this tumor has taught me a little bit of how to have patience. I really never had patience. I've always been a sort of impatient person, but now I have no choice. So out of all my issues, quite honestly, I would be most delighted if they could fix the balance issues. Um, I do find it amusing. Again, I am getting better the more that I practice this stuff, but it's ridiculous. The bopping, it's like a dance. And it's crazy how when I close my eyes, the whole world, this is why I placed pillows everywhere. It's just crazy when I close my eyes. Like, I have no control. I lose it. It's ridiculous. And I know it's not a nice thing to say, but if I'm brutally honest, I'm sick of people asking me, how you doing? Because my honest answer is, I feel like crap. And I hate feeling like crap. And even more, I hate admitting that I feel like crap. But anyway, that's where it stands with me. 2 years later, still dealing with balance issues. Half of my face is still not quite functioning as it should, but shows some improvement. My ear is, I think, going to stay deaf for the moment, but has a ringing that sometimes is louder, sometimes sounds like a speaker with a loose wire. um, yeah, and because of all these things, nausea, muscle aches, back aches, but I'm going to keep trying to fight. I'm going to keep trying to stay active, and I'm excited about what is to come, because this professor doctor in Aachen at the university clinic seems to know a lot about this tumor. And I got kind of excited, even though he made me no promises when I saw him last, because he really seems to have the knowledge, but also showed an interest in seeing what he can correct. Because right now my quality of life, if I'm dead honest, is not great. It's just, and I'm sick of it. But as I stated before in some of my other acoustic neuroma related videos, I make these because after my operation I was really shocked at how I felt. And I was even more frustrated that I seemed to find more videos of people that had the same tumor as me, but were doing great, had like little or no side effects. And that made me worry more. You know, it doesn't just make you feel like alone, but it started making me worry more that like, why does it seem like everybody's doing better than me, you know? The fact is, this tumor grows differently inside everybody's head. It affects, breaks, damages, whatever, different things on the different people who get this. And more importantly, to know if you're facing this, a lot of doctors, like ear, nose, and throat, while they learned about this in school, a lot of them do not see it on the constant, and so therefore are not well versed and may not know how to handle you, or what to do with you, or how to help you. In this situation, I recommend using the internet. There seems to be a few clinics out there in every land and groups that specialize in helping people that have had or do have an acoustic neuroma, vestibular schwannoma. They're out there. I also recommend talking to your health insurance company. Sorry, Americans. I mean, if you have health insurance. But usually they can maybe help guide you to the places and the people that can help you. Also, a therapist is a really good thing. I'm not afraid to say it. If you get this tumor or anything like it and you're going through these issues, it's really a good idea to have someone to talk to work through all of the frustrations, depression, anxieties. There's a lot of things that come with like losing control of your balance, losing your hearing. There's a lot of other little things that come and are affected by those things, and it can be very overwhelming. I'm really thankful for my therapist, not just to talk to my daily struggles, but like, for example, more recently, he went with me to the local mall to practice and try to train my brain and anxiety with the escalator fear of heights issue. Uh, so it was really helpful being able to talk to him and talk through the whole thing, the fear, what comes, what I'm seeing. So again, if you do go through this, yes, you need a good ear, nose, and throat. You need a specialist that knows about this tumor, but I highly recommend get a therapist to talk to, because you're going to spend a lot of time going crazy and questioning yourself and what your body is doing. So that's where it stands for me, a little over 2 years after my operation to remove the acoustic neuroma. My journey continues. More appointments at the university clinic, discussions if we can do any procedures to, for example, correct my hearing. Hopefully some upcoming rehabilitation where we can work on my actual vertigo balance issues. I also hope in the university clinic they can give me some answers to directly what is causing all of this. I know I had a tumor, but I got the feeling like something is damaged or something in there, and I just want to know what is the root of all of this, and yeah, can it be fixed? So hopefully I find out a lot of that stuff. I want to say soon, but it's not going to be soon. The Christmas holidays are coming, and that makes me worried that this doctor might go on a vacation, as I would if I was him, and that this appointment might take even longer, but I'm going to try to keep staying active. I'm going to keep all of my appointments. I'm going to try to stay hopeful. And you, in the meantime, don't forget to click like. If you haven't subscribed yet, get your act together. But most importantly, take care of yourself.